In this video we are going to compare the high-performance Sculpfun S6 Pro laser engraver to the regular Sculpfun S6 laser head. We are going to test the engraving performance, measure the laser focus spot size, and we will do some cutting tests on Poplar plywood, pine and beech hardwood and acrylic to see the performance differences, as there is a $100 price difference between the two laser engraving machines. You can find the purchase link to the laser engravers in the video description. The links are affiliate links, which means that I earn a small commission from your purchase at no extra cost to you. This helps to support my channel and enable me to make more videos and projects. First, we are going to do the standard engraving test on Poplar plywood. The plywood often comes a little warped, but I use a 2mm steel plate under my laser so the wooden boards can be easily held down with magnets. The cheaper Sculpfun S6 is the first to test. The focusing procedure is the same for both lasers. Focusing is done with an aluminium block which you put between the heatsink and engraving surface. The result is a perfect focus distance. I am using Lightburn control software instead of the free laser GRBL, as it has much more features and makes your work much faster. The power scale test shows us how the engraving performance is affected at different speeds. The interval test is especially good for determining if the machine has a square or rectangular dot shape, as it progressively increases the distance between each engraved line when scanning horizontally and vertically. The photo engraving test is there to see how much detail you can get when engraving a photo. And here is an example of engraving a vector image of a bird. Instead of scanning line by line like a printer, the laser head is following the lines directly. The results look good. But first I will quickly swap the laser head and do the same with the Sculpfun S6 Pro so we will be able to compare the results. The S6 Pro has much smaller beam size. Because of that, the image engravings come out much more detailed. And the interval test shows us that the S6 has bigger and much more rectangular beam size than the Pro version. The engraving of text is also much more defined and detailed on the S6 Pro. Next, I tried engraving black anodized aluminum. Again, the first one to the task is the S6. This test showcases the engraving precision, laser dot size and shape, and overall laser output power. The main feature of this test is the interval test in vertical and horizontal direction to further evaluate the dot shape, as the engraving on anodized aluminum comes out very crisp and detailed, and therefore it is easy to clearly identify the laser dot shape. We immediately see that the Sculpfun S6 has a rectangular dot shape, but let's do the same test with S6 Pro and compare the results. Let's do some further testing with the digital microscope. First thing that we see is that the S6 Pro has much smaller dot shape, sized approximately 0.1 × 0.2 mm. while the S6 dot size is approximately 0.08 mm times 0.4 mm. The text engraving is done at 600 mm per second, which is quite fast for such small movements, and therefore some shaking of the laser head is visible in the corners. This can be easily avoided by reducing the acceleration and speed in the settings. With the speed and acceleration reduced by only a factor of 2, the result is much better. The inner square is engraved with low speed of 100 mm per second, and the outer one is at 1000 mm per second to test the effective speed on the quality of engraving. The next test on the list is the focus distance test. I start by placing 3 3mm acrylic sheets on the laser bed and place the wood board on top. Then, I focus the laser optimally on the surface and engrave the text, and the first square with 0 mm written in it. 0 mm now symbolizes the optimal focus. The purpose of this test is to see how the focus point size increases with distance when cutting thicker materials. This test evaluates the cutting performance. Then, I remove one 3mm acrylic sheet, consequently moving the wooden board 3 mm lower than the optimal focus, and engrave another square without readjusting the focus on the head. Here we can see how the beam shape looks 3 mm deep into the material. Then, I remove another acrylic board, so there is 6 mm distance between the optimal focus and surface. And lastly, I remove the remaining board and engrave a square at 9 mm below the focus point. I do the same on the S6 Pro, and let's compare the result. We can see that the S6 Pro has a much smaller dot size overall, which means much better cutting performance of thicker materials. And now let's see how both machines perform at cutting 3 mm and 6 mm poplar plywood boards. I run the tests at 300, 600 and 900 mm per second, both in horizontal and vertical cutting direction. Long story short, the S6 struggled when cutting the thicker materials, especially in horizontal direction. S6 Pro is a much more capable for cutting. I will not include clips of all the tests in this video, but check out my new website hobbylasercutters.com, where I will post detailed images and results of all the tests in this video. And here are the results. If you are interested, pause the screen to read the table or visit the website for more data. The S6 Pro cuts much faster, with less passes, and does not leave charred edge as the S6 does. I am very impressed with the cutting performance of the S6 Pro. Both machines were good at cutting solid 4 mm thick pine board. The S6 Pro did a good job at cutting the denser 3 mm beech wood, but the S6 struggled a lot cutting it. Cutting 3mm black acrylic was an easy task for both machines, but the S6 Pro did it much faster. When I tried to cut 3mm blue acrylic, neither of the machines managed to cut it. Perhaps the blue acrylic reflects the blue light from the laser, and this is why they are unable to cut it. So, which machine is the best for you? If you do more engraving than cutting, the S6 might be more of an affordable choice. But in my opinion, the S6 Pro is worth the extra cost because you will be able to make more stuff with it. You will find links to both machines in the video description, included with some discount coupons I got for you. And be sure to visit my new website hobbylasercutters.com, where I will post detailed images and results of all the tests done in this video.